Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So this morning we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, text number 25 and 26. Are you ready for the next?
Haribo. Yes.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah, yes.
Jalo kusham jalayadvan.
Jalaukrasham Jalayadvan.
Mahanto dhan yasaha.
Mahanto Dantiya Vishaya.
Durvalan balino rajan.
Durvalam Balino Rajan.
Mahanto balino mitaha.
Mahanto Balino Mita.
Evam balister yaduvar.
Evam Varisya Dubir.
Mahadvir itaran vibhu.
Mahavitaram Pido.
Yadun yadubhir anyonyam.
Yadubir Yonya.
Ubharam san jahara.
Bhuvaram Sanjahara.
Jalokashan yalayadvan.
Jalokasam Jalayatvam.
Niyasaha
Mahanto Dhanatyaniyasa
Balan Vadinorajan
Guruvalan Vadinorajan
Anto Bhaninamita
Mahanto Vadinamita
Evam Balista Yadubir
Evam Vadisya
Anvir Itarandu
Mahadvitaranvito
Yadgun Yadubir Anyoyam
Yadu Yadu Piranyam Yam
Ubhara Sanjahara
Gurvara Sanjahara
Jalokasham
Jalo Samsam
of the aquatics,
Vyakis
Jole
Jale
in the water,
in the water
Yadva
Yadvat
as it is,
as it is
Mahantaha
Mahanta
the larger one,
the larger one
Vedanti
Vedanti
swallows,
swallows
Niyasaha
Anisaha
smaller ones,
Marvelous
Norbalan
Gurvala
weak,
Yogi
Balina
Badina
stronger,
Stronger
Rajan
Rajan
king,
Okay
Mahanta
Mahanta
the strongest,
Strongest
Balina
Badina
less strong,
Less strong
Vita
Vida
in a duel,
In a duel.
Evam
Evam
thus,
Thus
so these died
Padishta
by the strongest,
By the strongest.
be
Yadu
by the descendants of Yadu,
By the descendants of Yadu
be
Mahadvi
one who has greater strength,
One who has great strength
Itaran,
Vitaran
the common one,
The common one
who
Who
supreme personality of God
The
is,
Supreme Personality of God
Yadu,
Yadu
all the others,
All the others.
to be
Yadu
by the Yadu,
By the Yadus
Yogyam,
Yadu
among one another,
Manwanda
Ubhara,
Ubhara
the burden of the world, Sunjahara,
Sanjahara
has unloaded.
Has unloaded
Ha!
Ha
Yes. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai
O King, as in the ocean, the bigger and stronger aquatics swallow up the smaller and weaker ones, so also the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to lighten the burden of the earth, has engaged the stronger Yadu to kill the weaker, and the bigger Yadu to kill the smaller. You wouldn't think there would be a weaker Sant Yadus. Purport. In the material world, the struggle for existence and survival of the fittest are laws, because in the material world there is disparity between the conditioned souls due to everyone's desire to lord it over material resources. This very mentality of lording it over the material world is the root cause of conditioned life. And to give facility to such imitation lords, the illusory energy of the Lord has created a disparity between conditioned living beings by creating the stronger and the weaker in every species of life. The mentality of lording it over the material nature and the creation has naturally created a disparity. This is the third time Prabhupada put this word in. Disparity. Disparity. In other words, I guess a problem, created a problem. And therefore the law of struggle for existence, In the spiritual world, there is no such disparity, number 4. Nor is there such a struggle for existence. In the spiritual world, there is no struggle for existence, because everyone there exists eternally. There is no disparity. Fifth time he's using that word a lot. There is no disparity, because everyone who wants to render service to the Supreme Personality of God, and no one wants to imitate the Lord in becoming the beneficiary. The Lord, being creator of everything, including the living beings, factually, is the proprietor and enjoyer of everything that be. But in the material world, by the spell of Maya or illusion, this eternal relation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead is forgotten. And so the living being is conditioned under the law of struggle for existence and the survival for the fittest, and thus Austerity. We gotta do it. Actually, time gave out this my figure. Yet Kripanta Hamang Shiguram Dinata, Vanchika, Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Vedanta, Saraswati Gaura, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Struggle for existence is something that the materialistic people are absorbed. What are they struggling for? Get money. People are struggling to get more and more. Why money? To get things. Why things? Such gratification. So this, but also devotees struggle. Not all. I mean, there's some devotees that are just, they join the movement, they just, no problem. But most devotees are struggling, and therefore a lot of devotees, unfortunately, they can't stay. It's not easy. Like Prabhupada said, don't be surprised about those who leave, but those who stay. It's a war against Maya. Maya is powerful. So devotees are also struggling to be Krishna conscious. But that's a glorious struggle. And sometimes in this struggle, it's a little difficult. That's good. It helps us to get stronger. Just like there's a saying that there was a man who, he was in a park and he saw a coon. They have these silkworms. It's amazing. These silkworms, they're worms, but then at one point in their life, they become they turn into a cocoon. It's amazing. And then a butterfly grows in the cocoon. It's like a mystical. It's amazing. So this one man saw a cocoon and he saw the butterfly trying to get out. So we thought, he's a nice guy. Let me get the butterfly a hand. So he had a knife there and he cut off, make it easier to get out. And then the butterfly came out finally, but then the butterfly couldn't fly. It couldn't fly. It tried to, but it couldn't. It fell down and eventually it just died. Because the struggle was part of its life to help the butterfly to get strong. It's a bit of a workout. Survival of the fittest, right from the beginning of the butterfly's life. He's struggling to get out of the cocoon and thus become strong in that struggle. It's called silk is strong. So it takes some time to get out. And by the time he gets out, he's ready to go. Flies away. So struggle is good. It helps us to be strong. Like Queen Kunti, she prays for difficulties. She prays for struggles and problems because that's when she takes shelter of Krishna. So it's an opportunity to take shelter of Krishna. So struggle is good. Just like in the gyms, they all over the world, there's these physical gyms. They work out to get strong, and they make the weights heavier and heavier. Those muscles will pop. Get stronger and stronger. So there's one saying, no pain,
No good.
Okay. So difficulty is good. It helps us to become strong. Just like in the universities, the professors making this test stronger and stronger. It's not out of enmity. It's not that he doesn't like the students. But he wants them to learn more, to go higher in the subject. Thus he makes them more difficult. So again, they have these gyms, they work out. But why are they working out? To get their body strong. But we also work out. This is the ISV Krishna gym. And we're working out also. What is our workout? 16 rounds, 16 strong rounds, 16 good rounds, 4 regular principles, hearing and chanting. This is our workout. And if we do this nicely, then we can become strong Vaishnavas. But it has to be done nicely. We have to do everything very attentively. It's like I was just reading about Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya, he never heard any topic other than Krishna. And if anybody wanted to recite anything to him, it had to go through Swarup Damodar. Because he didn't, Lord Chaitanya, he'd get upset if there's any rasa basa or some nonsense. So he would check Swarup Damodar. And there was sometimes he had to correct people that came to recite to Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya came to be to show us how to be a good devotee, perfect devotee. Of course, this is in this age, the process is hearing the holy name, hearing scripture. Nivartatara sara vijayamana bhavocho trotimano ultima shloka gunanma manvirte gnanashri. The glorification of the Supreme Personality of God is relished by those who are no longer interested in the temporary, illusory pleasures of this world. So this is the problem with the pleasures of this world. Temporary. Nobody wants temporary pleasure. We want it to continue. We don't want it to stop. But that's the nature of this world. It comes to a point and it just stops. Nobody wants to work, but everybody's got to work. In the spiritual world, nobody is working. There's no 9 to 5 jobs. You don't have to go to school. Everybody has full knowledge, bliss, eternality. It's a good place to hang out. It's the best place. The best place to live in the spiritual world. The Prabhupada says in one purport, in the spiritual world, there is no matter. Everything is alive. Everything sees, everything hears, everything moves, and everything talks. You can imagine that. Everything, the houses, the trees, everything moves, everything talks, everything sees, everything is personal. That there's no death, no old age, no birth. Vaikuntha, no anxiety. But what is it that is most attractive about the spiritual world?
Pleasure. Engage with Krishna.
Huh?
We get to engage with Krishna.
Yes, Krishna is there. If Krishna wasn't there, wouldn't be near as nice. It'd still be nice in the spiritual world, but Krishna, he makes it so attractive. And he's everywhere. He's all over the place. Just like in the Rasa Lila, all the gopis, they thought Krishna was only within. So in the Rasa Lila, he's all over the place there. So the spiritual world also, he's all over the place. He's not limited. So the goal is to get free of this illusory. Also, that's another one. It's temporary and illusory. So that's the nature of this world. It's illusory. So-called pleasures of this world. So it appears to be so much pleasure there. It's like a friend of mine. He was a brahmachari for about 20 years. Book distributor, brahmachari, nice to go. But then he got a lot of going to household life, so very nice driving, nice lady. And it was the honeymoon. It's not us. But then eventually the honeymoon ran out. And just recently he told me, yeah, it didn't work out, I'm not attached to it. They didn't get divorced, but kind of dried up. It gets, it's illusory. It's illusory. It appears to be so nice. Maya is so expert. Everything just seems wonderful. Same thing with his son. He just loved his son so much. He said that the best years of my relationship with my son was when he was 3 years old. Then after some time they start thinking on their own and they become rebellious. And same thing with his son. It was this wonderful relationship that eventually it just kind of, it's illusory. The whole thing is just, Maya packs it in such an attractive way, but it's illusion. It's material life. It's illusion. But then this verse goes on to say, "Bhavosho troti manovima," that this chanting, this hearing about Krishna, this is the medicine that can free us from this temporary, illusory existence. And we could enter into real happiness, real existence, which is spiritual with Krishna. This is what satisfies the soul. Daya sarvabhutesu santasya idike sarvendriya sanchasi tushasya. It said that Krishna is very pleased, immediately very pleased if we're satisfied in Krishna consciousness. That's the first. Be satisfied in Krishna consciousness. Sometimes we may feel a little dissatisfaction, whatever reason. When I was in San Diego, there was one devotee who wasn't very satisfied with prasadam. Yeah. So he'd go eat at the restaurant. He said, yeah, he told the boy, yeah, they know what they're doing. They know how to cook. Of course, vegetarian, but wasn't satisfied with prasadam. So he was eating bogo with, yogi shistash and a hashlam cook. They're verily eating only sin. Devotees are freed from all sin because they eat food which is first offered in sacrifice. But others who eat food for their own satisfaction, they're eating sin. They're actually eating sin. So even though the prasadam may not be as nice as we would like, still, we should not eat. Sin is not a good thing. Because we get reaction. We eat boga, get reaction. And quite often devotees don't, not quite often, but sometimes devotees do that, and then they'll lament. It's called boga tyaga. They enjoy, and then they lament, oh, what did I do that? Prabhu gives the example of a Hindu that was hungry and he went to a Muslim home to eat. But that's you don't do that. Right? It's a Brahmana. And he was a little bit to eat, but then he didn't have any more, and then he lamented, I broke my principle of eating here and still I'm not satisfied. So that's what happens. We do something wrong out of foolishness, and then still we're not satisfied. So yeah, we should be satisfied in Krishna consciousness. And if you think the prasadam is not good enough, learn to cook and do it yourself. Actually, we have good cooks here. I'm pretty satisfied. I won't be going to any restaurants. So we should be satisfied. And then also, we have to control the senses. I was just listening to a lecture, Prabhupada said that if one lives his life celibate, then back home, you got to be a devotee too. Back home. That's probably the most difficult of all austerities. Therefore, Bhishma, he took that vow of celibacy. Unembodied voice said, your name is Bhishma, which means, or That's the heavenly pleasures, material worlds, sexual. But that's also it's temporary. Doesn't give satisfaction to the soul. But Krishna consciousness gives satisfaction to the soul. Krishna Bhakti Nishkama, At Eva Shanta, Mukti Mukti Siddhigami, Sakliya Shanta. Devotees of the Lord, they're very peaceful because they don't want anything. They're satisfied. Krishna Bhakti Nishkam. Nishkam means no desire other than to serve Krishna. But mukti, you have some material desires, mukti, you want liberation. You have so many desires, then dissatisfaction. It's like Lord Chaitanya gives the example of a very poor man. He was lamenting that he was so poor. And then an astrologer came, and he could foresee the future. He said, "Hey, no reason to lament. A great wealth has been left to you." But he said, "Be careful. Because if you dig on the southern side of where this wealth is, you're going to be harassed by bees, and you'll not be able to get the treasure. But be careful. If you dig on the western side, you'll be harassed by ghosts. And they'll harass you, they'll scare you so much, you'll not be able to get the treasure. But be careful. If you dig on the northern side, then you'll be harassed by a big black snake. Kill you. So be careful. However, if you dig on the eastern side, there you'll find the treasure that you've been wanting, hankering for. So what is the southern side? The bees. That's material enjoyment. Living entities are trying to enjoy the material sense gratification. And the result is so much suffering. It's like nectar in the beginning, poison in the end. So just like the bees, they gather honey, and then they store the honey. And then they go to get the honey again, and then they get stung by other bees. And also sometimes there's beekeepers. They have these cones for the bees. They put the honey in, and then they go get the honey, and they get stung by the bees. So it's the nature of this world. But there's a lot of stinging going on. Like we have this prison ministry. Yeah. India also, they have prison ministry.
I think so.
Prabhupada, he went to a few prisons and preached. And they were a good attentive group. There's nothing else, there's nothing happening. So devotees, they went to this one prison, and they were interviewing some of the prisoners. And one of the prisoners, they were asking, "Why are you in prison? What caused you to?" And one of them said, "Well, my best friend had sex with my wife, and I killed him." So this guy's thinking he's going to have a good time with his best friend's wife. He's dead. He's killed. Bee sting. Try to enjoy it. No, Krishna is the enjoyer. Krishna is the proprietor. See, the living entities come here to be the proprietor, to be the enjoyer. But no, Krishna, he owns everything. It's like there's one pastime. There's so many nice pastimes in this spiritual Prabhupada says, I think it's a Krishna book. Krishna got caught stealing. And one of the elderly Gopa men caught him. He said, "I've caught you stealing." And Krishna said, "Well, I'm not a thief. You're a thief." He said, "Back." And then just yesterday I was reading the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada says in the purport, that the cowherd boys, they'll jump on Krishna's shoulder and said, "Who do you think you are? I'm more powerful than you are. Come on, I could beat you." He jumps on his shoulder. They wrestle. There's a lot of wonderful pastimes going on in the spiritual world. The dry things that are happening out here, the activities by which one gets stung so much, and people get fired. Say you've had some friends that got fired recently. That's a bee sting. Ouch. Now what? And now so many, now Trump is sending so many Mexicans back to Mexico. It's a bee sting. And now also he's trying to, it might be a problem with the Indians. They're able to get over that. We have so many nice Indian devotees here. Hopefully there's good lawyers though, and ISV, or this kind of Silicon Valley, they like their Indian employees. So it'll be he'll have a hard time getting the Indians out of here. So, yeah, there's a lot of bee stinging going on in the material world. But in the spiritual world, no bee stinging. Anybody ever get stung by a bee? Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. They're. But you know what's interesting? So there's bees that you get stung by them, and it actually helps your health. Yeah. Yeah, I have a friend, a devotee. If he found some devotee that had some health problem, he'd get a bee and have it, and actually it helps. Amazing. So that's the southern side. And the western side is where one gets harassed by ghosts. Spiritual world, there's a lot of ghosts. Prabhupada said, I'm ghost proof. In England, there was some, they were visiting John Lennon's resort there. And there was some workers there. They had a house and they lived in this house. And they were hearing, at night, they were hearing these chains dragging, you know. And the man didn't believe in ghosts, but the woman was scared to death. And eventually he also got scared too. And they told Prabhupada, said, just go. Go and have kirtan. Go and have kirtan. 3 hours of roaring kirtan. And they did. And then there was no more problem with ghosts. They don't like the holy name. One time I was in my room sleeping. We had a hotel in Miami Beach. And a friend of mine was sleeping next to me. I'm sleeping. He says, he was getting attacked by a ghost, you know. I said, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. And it went away. But I told the devotee Prabhu, all due respect, you gotta go to another room, you know. You wake up in the middle of the night, you gotta deal with some ghost, you know. A lot of ghosts in the material world. You know, there was a movie called Ghost, and whoever did that movie, they learned a lot from us, because when people would die, these figures would come and they would take the soul. The Yamabuta. Did you see the movie? Anyways, yeah, it's called Ghost. They would come and they would take the living entity away. That's the Yamadutas. Whoever did that movie, directed that movie, they must have heard about the Yamadutas, because these creatures would come and they take the soul away to wherever their destiny was. So yeah, ghosts can be very fearsome. Some people they don't believe in ghosts, but and my sister and little nephew was two of them. But they were in the room watching television one time, and my sister looked up into the corner and she saw a ghost. She said, Johnny, do you see what I see? He looked at her. He said, I sure do. And they bolted out of there. They ran out of there. Yeah, ghosts can be scary. Like, and sometimes Prabhupada said they can be troublesome.
Hmm.
Troublesome. So, and that is compared to people that get knowledge, but they're not getting the knowledge from an authorized source. So they become bewildered. It's like so many people, they go to India, they don't have Prabhupada, they don't have someone who's following, so they become confused, bewildered. I mean, imagine if you're trying to understand the Vedic literatures and you don't have a pure devotee. You're very confusing, very confusing. And people don't know what to do, what not to do, because there's no proper direction. I met this one person in the airport in Miami. He had just come from India. And he was one of these guys that was he was really confused. And so I gave him the book and said, yeah, we just asked for a donation. And he said, 1818, 1818, 1818. Yeah, here, 1818. 1818 means not this, not that. But he thought it meant, this is not mine, that's not mine, everything. Yeah, I kind of I like that. But he was confused. He didn't know what it means. Yeah, good thing he had a misunderstanding. He was not mine, not yours, everything, yeah, go. So, yeah, if we don't have proper direction, people don't know who the Supreme is. So many Hindus, they haven't a clue. So many gods, haven't a clue. Prabhupada comes, Bhagavad Gita has this. Even big scholars don't know. Don't know. Gandhi said, he translated the Bhagavad Gita, but then he said, I don't know if Krishna existed or not. Why did he translate the Bhagavad Gita? So from the highest to the lowest, people are confused without a pure devotee. All the Vedic literatures and so much teaching there. So we're very blessed by Krishna to have the proper pure guidance. The Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and the commentators, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baladev Vijayabhushan, so many great acharyas. We are so blessed. So there's no confusion, no ghost problems. And then the black snake, that's compared to mystic abilities. People get these mystic abilities, and they become bewildered. They have some power, and because they have this power, they misuse the power and exploit it. So that they exploit people. They have some little mystic ability. It's like Sly Baba might have had a little bit of a mystic ability, and he misled people. 20 million people thinking he's God. Such a rascal. But so many, like they get some mystic ability, and they become bewildered, and they bewilder others. Prabhupada said, my mystic ability, my magic, was I turn Malechas and Yavanas, Vaishnavas. That's it's a big mystic ability. It can only be done with purity. Only with purity. So that's a few words from this. On this verse. Is there any questions? I was listening to Prabhupada. He said, only the devotees survive. is here the survival of the fittest. Surviving means wake up to reality, and we go back. Otherwise, we waste the human form of life. It's like this verse I quoted, Libertatar Sarvapatiyamas. The end of that verse says that who will not take this hearing the glories of Krishna? The meat eaters and the killers of their own soul. Now one may say, "Oh, wait, you can't kill your own soul," but practically you can, because of forgetting that you're the soul. And so many, like practically everybody on the planet, they've forgotten. They don't know that they're the soul. And therefore they're practically dead. So we're trying to help them. Prabhupada, I just read Prabhupada, he said a very nice thing. He said, anybody that takes to Krishna consciousness and helps others to become Krishna consciousness, then when Krishna sees that, he considers, now there's victory. It's like Krishna has become victorious. When people read his words and they go out to help others, Krishna considers that a victory for his coming to the material world, because he comes to help us. So if someone takes the Krishna consciousness and then goes out to try to help others, that's great victory. So therefore we should spend some time, energy, attention, helping others. It's what is most needed. People don't know what they need. Like we would. So, any questions? Yeah.
So I used to read this philosophy of struggle for existence in a world called school books, struggle of survival of the fittest.
Darwin's.
Yeah, and it used to be very discouraging. That very depressing actually, depressing, disappointing. That even if I try, I cannot make this world a better place.
Yeah.
It was so disappointing.
Yeah, Darwin is a pretty disappointing person.
Yeah, they call the spirituality you are becoming pessimistic, but actually this is the height of pessimism. Economics teaches about the science of scarce resource, scarcity. Economics is all about scarcity. That we have limited resources, uh, but we have so much demand.
Yeah.
So this material sciences too, it was very disappointing for me. I thought even if I want to do good to others, still I cannot, because I won't be able to survive myself.
Prabhupada says all nonsense. The Krishna, very easily it could be 10 times the population on the planet right now. So much land is just being wasted. Just, so many people are in these little areas, struggling, but so much land is being wasted. Prabhupada said that the downfall of society is that people have stopped growing their own food. Previously, people would grow their own food, and still, you go to places like in Russia and Ukraine, I could see they would have strips of land, and everybody grew their own food. But, pretty good long strip of land. Maybe 10 yards by 50 yards, and they would grow all their food. But now everybody just buys their food in the store, and it's agro business. Yeah. Genetically modified. It's just ruining the food. So Krishna consciousness is the only hope. Better struggle to be Krishna conscious than struggle to just exist automatically will exist very nicely, no problem. Yes.
I had a question about, I think we hear that Krishna is Atmaram, like self-satisfied.
Yeah.
Why does he need us? Why does he need us?
Why is he yes?
Why do we, well, why does he, why do we, so he's already self-satisfied?
Yeah. Well, even though someone is self-satisfied, just like there's devotees that are self-satisfied, but we're, what is it? We're social beings.
Oh.
And Krishna's a social being. He likes company,
Mhm.
isn't it? I mean, you may be, there's people that are self-satisfied, but they still, I mean, there's some people that in the Himalayas, they're just up there by themselves. What a boring life.
Mhm.
But there's devotees that are self-satisfied, very advanced, but we're social beings. We like to associate with others. So Krishna is a very social being. He likes to be with others, have a good time.
You say it's a want, non
Yeah,
desire.
yeah. Yes.
I have a question going back to the prasadam, and I was just thinking about the restaurant story. So I know that when you eat in a restaurant, like especially the food is made by non-devotees, and you know nobody's offering the food, and that's kind of the reason as to why there's sin involved in it. I was wondering about like if you're getting food from at the workplace or something, like um not like cooked meal, but like say something like instant oatmeal or like some snacks that are made in a factory. Like I know Anuma Krishik Swami has a book in that he talks about even if something's made in the factory, like still somebody turned the button on. So there's some, you know, you get the reaction from that. So I just wanted to hear like what is the take? Is that, you know, should that be generally avoided or, you know, is that okay to use those kinds of things?
Well, Prabhu was in Vrindavan and he was in the rickshaw and he told the boys, get some samosas. They're just from some shop there. So, of course, that's Vrindavan.
Yeah.
But, you know, who knows if it was offered.
Yeah.
So there's very strict standards and there's not so strict standards. Like for instance, we take yogurt here, coming from the cow, but they put it through a machine. I don't know exactly the procedure, but we take that and you know, say they were pressed with we gets these mango. It's just mango, but it's packaged, but it's just mango, so we accept that because it's just mango, and yogurt is just milk transformed into yogurt. So some might think, well, that's not good because someone pushed a button.
Right.
So one may have that, but Prabhupada wasn't on that. He didn't have that because he would take yogurt and he would take 7-Up. 7-Up. Prabhupada was some devotees and Prabhupada said, devotee, give me a 7-Up. Prabhupada, you want a 7-Up? Oh yeah, give me a 7-Up. And he was shocked, like, Prabhupada, you sure you want a 7-Up? Yeah, give me a 7-Up. You got a 7-Up for him. And that's just made out of a factory. So Prabhupada wasn't so fanatic.
In such cases.
And there was just one other thing. Milk, it had fish oil in it. It goes through a machine. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's still like that. Prabhupada said it could be so they would offer to the deities. So,
I think you answered the question. I was gonna follow up with in such regards, if we're getting like snacks or something from, you know, is it okay to offer those things like at least in our mind or, you know?
well, it shouldn't be something that like sometimes we get these chips here, but that's just made up. It's not, you know, it didn't have it's not just, you know, like mangoes, just, you know,
Yeah, I understand.
taking the
Yeah.
liquid out package.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should take things that are just made up, like also there's snacks that are just made up out of, they put grains and sugar and
Yeah.
this and that. And then you look at the ingredients, there's, 50 different chemicals in it. So we shouldn't do it like that, but things that are
Like
just,
nuts, like just.
yeah, nuts, yeah,
Okay.
fine. Yeah, they're coming out of the ground. Yeah. Okay. See the Prabhupada